There's not much to do when all I can is thinking about you. Not doing well, don't know where you are, 'cause you're not here. It's been way too long. If I could lay down beside you, I would. When nothing really matters, that's all I wanna do. I hope that you are safe and that I will see you soon. If I could lay down beside you, I would.
Hey everyone, long time no speak. Wow, I have no idea how long it has been since I've last posted a video, but I thought I'm just going to bite the bullet and get it done because, believe it or not, I've tried to do this vlog about a million times already. But the two littlies, if you've been following me for a while, you know I've got two small children and they're just constant noise that it makes it pretty much impossible to film when they're awake. They're both still in bed at the moment. I've just seen the big two off to school. That's why it's quite dark still, because the weather here is absolutely horrendous. I've got the curtains closed just because it is that horrible outside. I just don't want to see it. So I'm all like nice and snug in the house. But yeah, Kobe and Alana are still in bed. So while they're giving it Zeds, I thought I'm just going to jump on and get it done. So I do apologise for the way I look, but obviously I've not been up long and I'm just biting the bullet and doing it when I can do, because like I say, I've been meaning to do it for the longest time, just to update everyone of how everything's going and what I'm up to now, and you know, changes with the family, all that sort of different stuff, just a general overhaul of everything. And I want to continue my channel and to grow it this year as well. I know that I've not been on much towards the back end of last year because I was flipping from one thing to another and stuff like that. But yeah, one of my aims for this year is definitely to grow this channel and to branch out a little bit. So obviously, in order to do that, I need to actually film. So yeah, just bit the bullet, thought I'll get it done. And I think as well, I've not done it while the littlies have been around, just because it's getting back into that swing of stuff as well as filming, because it just feels so weird being sat in front of the camera again because it's been that long since I've done it. So I think it's just like baby steps back into it, isn't it, almost? So while I've not got an audience, it makes it easier, even though that audience is only a 2-year-old and a 1-year-old. Hang on, I'm just going to have a quick swig of my brew. So yeah, so how is everybody? How have you been keeping? I'd love to know how you're all getting on, because obviously I know I've got quite a few regulars on here, and if there is anybody new as well, I'd like you to introduce yourself. I'd love to get to know you a bit better. So yeah, just leave any comments down below. But yeah, I know that I posted a little while ago saying that there's going to be like changes and things like that when it comes towards my weight loss journey. And I'm going to be brutally honest. You know, I'm always brutally honest. I've flipped about that much. There's a couple of people on here that I do speak to quite regular, and they'll know the saga that I've had when it comes to my weight loss. And I've flipped around that much that I've gone dizzy with it all, basically. I am on a weight loss plan, so I am trying to lose weight once again, she says. This is definitely my final year. I've decided that if I don't get the timber off, then I'm just going to have to learn to love myself as I am, even though I feel incredibly uncomfortable this size, because prior to having children, I've never been this size before. So it's not a size that I've grown up with. Like, my body's naturally this size. It's not. It's something that I've inflicted upon myself. So yeah, I am on a weight loss plan, and I was umming and ahhing of which one to do. So I've gone back and forth, and I think that's another reason why I've not filmed until now as well, because how could I film when I couldn't give a definitive answer? Because my head was just constantly in the clouds of what I'm going to do. You know, one day I'd wake up and I'd think, right, I'm going to start calorie counting because it's the best way forward. Obviously, everybody knows that being in a calorie deficit is the way to lose weight. But then on the other side, I'm like, yeah, but Slimming World's so easy to follow. And, you know, I know it gets a lot of bad press by people that especially do follow calorie counting because they're just like, how the hell can you eat so much pasta when it's 1,000,000 calories? I just don't understand. But I think it's all just about taking sensible approaches. Whatever you do, whatever diet plan you do, you take a sensible approach to it. We all know we can't eat 1,000,000 platefuls of pasta and actually lose weight. We all know that that's not a reality. So it's all about being sensible. So yeah, I've flipped back and forth. I went back to Slimming World towards the end of last year. I went back, was it October or November? But I was definitely there at the very beginning of December, and I was determined that I was going to stick with Slimming World throughout the whole of December and try and, you know, like either minimize the damage or lose weight or just maintain. I was determined that I was going to do that. Anyway, as it goes, best laid plans and all that. Didn't do it, and I fell off, and I just sent a message to my consultant saying, look, it's not going to happen. It's, you know, I've messed around that much this year that my head is just not in that brain space whatsoever, and especially not trying to do it in the last month of the year in December when we had so many plans and so many activities that it was just basically impossible to stick to. So I threw the towel in, unfortunately, which I know isn't the right way to go about it, but that's what I did do. And yeah, I decided not to bother and I'd pick it back up after Christmas, whichever plan that I decided to do. So anyway, January came around, January the 1st, it was a Sunday, and I thought, right, that's it. And I was prepped, all geared up, researched everything, you know, because I'm a bit of a geek, unfortunately, or fortunately, maybe. Once I get my teeth into something, I really do like to read and research as much as possible about whatever subject it is that I'm interested in at the time. So I was looking into calorie counting because I thought this is going to fit best with family life. I can eat what everybody else is eating, and it'll just make shopping easier, it'll make planning easier, it'll make everything so much more easier. That's what I thought. So that's it. I stuck my nails in, I got my teeth into it, and I went away with doing calorie counting. And what I was going to do is I was going to film like either a week or a couple of weeks and then update you all of how I was getting on with it. Anyway, the first week went fine. It went absolutely fine. Didn't lose as much weight as I was hoping to. I only lost a couple of pounds doing it, which I expected a bigger loss because I always seem to have quite big losses when I'm on Slimming World. However, tracking it, and I've still got the NutriCheck app. I've had that for donkey's years, and it just automatically renews. So that's something that maybe I should sort out if I don't plan on doing that. But yeah, it was just tracking absolutely everything. And I mean, when I say I looked into it, I was going to do my macros as well. So I looked at how much protein I should be having, how much fat, carbohydrates, and fiber. Obviously, you know, everybody should be trying to hit like 30 grams of fiber a day, really. And I was just trying, maybe I was biting off more than I could chew, but I thought there's no point in me doing calorie counting if I'm not going to do it all, because at the end of the day, I want to lose weight, but I want to be healthy. So I do know that there's some people out there, you know, that are on YouTube and stuff like that, that'll basically just eat trash. They'll eat whatever they want, you know, chocolate cakes, pizzas, cakes, whatever. They'll eat whatever they want as long as they're in a deficit. They're not bothered about the nutritious value, which is fine, fair enough. If that's how you want to do it and it keeps you on track and it stops you binging and everything like that, that's absolutely fine. But for me, I wanted to stay healthy while losing weight as well. So I wanted to get as much nutritious food in me in a calorie deficit too. Because to me, there's no point in me losing weight if by the end of it I end up with diabetes or high blood pressure because the amount of salt and sugar that I'm actually eating. Like, yeah, I'm skinnier now because I've managed to lose weight. However, I've got all these other complications. So yeah, I wanted to lose weight doing it that way. And like I say, tracking it all just became impossible because I'm trying to make a meal. Like, we're a family of six. If you are new here, we are a family of six. There's me, my husband, and we've got four children ranging from 14 down to 1 year old. So to try and incorporate meals for all of us, I was just finding it so hard to do my bit and track my bit, especially when everybody else in the family isn't calorie counting. Um, and yeah, I don't know why, because again, Weight Watchers, keto, even, because even though you eat a high fat diet on that one, you're still in a calorie deficit. Slimming World, it is all based around calories. It's just they've worked it out for you. But I just don't know why I found it so hard, because it's like the basics. It's like when you go into Asda and you can get like Heinz, or you can get like the value. It's like the value range of losing weight. You don't have to have an app. You don't have to join any groups or follow any particular plans, like PT instructors, blah, can't talk, instructors. You don't have to sign up to anything or anyone in order for you to calorie count. You don't. You can do it all on your own accord just by reading the labels on the back and jotting it all down. So I don't know why, because it's so basic and it's so easy, that I found it so difficult and hard to stick to. It wasn't that I found adding it all up and keeping track of it hard. I just found it an absolute pain in the backside, basically. And maybe I'm conditioned too much into thinking about Slimming World, because when I decided to do the calorie counting, I still, in my heart of hearts, wanted to go to Slimming World. I knew that I was going to miss group, and I knew that I was going to miss the plan and everything like that. But I thought, no, ultimately, even with Slimming World, I'm calorie counting. So let's just nip it in the bud and do the proper thing and see how it works, and just do calorie counting. And anyway, basically, I know I've explained it in a very long way. It didn't work. So I've joined back Slimming World. Long story short, I've gone back to Slimming World and I feel good about it. I feel really, really good. So today is Friday the 18th. Is it 19th? I think it's Friday the 19th. I've not got a clue. I just know it's Friday. So I joined back on Monday just gone. In fact, I can tell you what day I joined back on. Let me just put my brew down, because I've got my book in front of me. Yeah, so I joined back on the 16th, which was Monday just gone. And walking through the doors, it felt so good. And I know I'm paying £6 a week basically to step on someone else's scales and stuff like that. But for me, it just seems to work, and it's where I'm comfortable. It's what I know. And again, I think in my head, I wanted to change to calorie counting because maybe Slimming World had become too easy for me, that I'd become too comfortable with it. And like anything, if you become too comfortable with something, like your job, for example, it can become dangerous because you become complacent and, maybe you don't look into things as properly. Same with Slimming World. Maybe I'm not looking at sins properly. Maybe I'm not weighing all my healthy extras and, counting everything that I should do. Maybe I'm sneaking a few chips off of the kids' plates and thinking, oh, it'll be fine. And, it becomes easy to fall into those traps because it's such an easy lifestyle and diet to follow. So I basically sat down with myself and gave my head a wobble, which I've done many, many times. But I'm going to be doing Slimming World a little bit different this year, in the sense that I'm calling it my own little thing. I'm doing Slimming World sensibly. That's what I'm calling it. Slimming World sensibly. So I'm not going to take advantage and eat all the pasta in the world. That I know the plan says it, but I think as much as it's saying it's free food and it's unlimited, it's not meaning in a literal sense. It just means you don't have to stick it on some weighing scales. You've always got to follow that guide of having 1/3 speed. And obviously, if you can have more speed foods rather than free foods, always go for that. I mean, they always tell you to snack on speed foods first, then your free foods, healthy extras, then your sins. They always tell you to do that because it makes sense, because stuff that are speed are a lot less in calories than stuff that's free and stuff that's, that's stuff that's sinned. So, like I say, I'm going to do Slimming World sensibly. So from from Monday onwards, I've been sticking to plan 100%. I've been having my healthy extras. You'll have seen the little intro bit, me making my brew. I've measured my milk. That stays in the fridge. I've got 2 lines on it because, if I'm not having cheese that day, then I might have double the amount of milk. So, for example, oh, by the way, just a little life update. I've gone back to work now as well. I'm just doing 1 shift a week, so just 1 long day, which is 12 and a half hours. Just one of those a week, just because it works out easier and more affordable for childcare. If I actually come out with more doing that than putting the kids in full-time nursery and paying for someone else to look after them. Number one, I want to be around them as much as possible. That goes without saying. I'd be a full-time mum if I could, stay-at-home mum. I would if I could, in an ideal world. But no, I do need to go out to work. And so I actually get more just doing that 1 shift a week than I would putting them in full-time nursery and being able to juggle the nursery ourselves, the childcare ourselves, should I say. So, yeah. On, what day was it? It was Tuesday that I went to work. So, for example, on Tuesday, I went to work and I had double the amount of milk because I wasn't planning on having cheese that day. I took my meals with me. I'm there from 8 a.m. until 8:30 p.m. I only get 1 half an hour break, so I only actually take 1 meal, but then I take snacks with me and I'll try and have something to eat when I get home. But I wasn't planning on having cheese that day, so I just took double the amount of milk. And being on a ward, obviously, it's bruise galore, absolute bruise galore. So then that meant that I could have tons and tons of bruise and not have to worry about going over my sins or having extra healthy extras and then it counting against me. So yeah, so I've been sticking to plan since Monday, but this time round, I'm just making sure that I'm definitely getting my speed foods. I mean, I've never had an issue with not getting my speed foods. It's always been with the free foods that I've got the issue with. That instead of, so I like to have half and half free and half speed when I put everything out on my plate. But what I'd normally do in the past, and if you've followed me for a while, you've probably seen that half of my plate will be full of speed foods. And then the other half, like say I'm having spaghetti bolognese, I'd fill the other half with pasta. But then on top of that, I'd put all the bolognese as well. So it's like I've got a plate and a half full of food. And this is what I mean by I've like sat down and give my head a wobble and like looked at my diet of how I can like improve it. And I think this is one way. So instead of me doing that, because technically it's like a plate and a half full of food that I've been having instead, like a full spaghetti bolognese with a side salad. That's what it's almost been like, which isn't what the plan says. I think this time instead, or in fact, I know this time instead, because like I said, I've already been doing it. Why I'm speaking like in future tense, I have no idea. I'm going to still keep my half of plate of food, of speed food, so like vegetables or salad, whichever. And then quarter of the plate would be the pasta, and then quarter of the plate would be the bolognese, and do it that way, or like rice and curry or whatever I'm having, chili, whatever I'm having, and doing it that way instead. Or if I'm having lasagna and chips, normally I'd put a full portion of lasagna on and a massive pile of chips. So again, it'd still be the same. I'm just going to break it down so it's less of the free stuff that's obviously quite calorific, lasagna, even though you can make it Slimming World friendly and it's 100% on plan, it's really highly calorific. So I'm going to cut it back there. Chili and rice, highly calorific. I'm going to cut it back there. So I'm going to do stuff like that. So like I say, Slimming World sensibly, which I think is what the plan is basically trying to tell you to do. Not pile everything on top of each other. So yeah, it's still on that half of the side of the plate, but it's going up like, a car parking lot. I'm going to keep it at ground level instead of multi-story, basically. I think that's a good way of thinking it. Yeah, I'm not going to have multi-story food. I'm going to have ground level food. So I'm hoping that'll help. Like I say, weighing and measuring all my healthy extras. I've been using my Slimming World app, which in the very beginning when it first came out, I used and I absolutely loved, and I got really good weight losses. But then I stopped using it just because, again, it became a pain in the bum to track everything. And even though it's really, really easy to, and I became complacent. Oh, I know the diet so well. Why do I need to track it? And I just keep all the things totted up in my head, which again, you can forget stuff really easy, or you can overestimate or underestimate or whatever. And I wouldn't scan everything always because I just immediately assumed that I knew, even though things change all the time. I'm drinking more water. I've got a 2 litre bottle that I'm making sure that I get through every single day. I'm still sticking with plenty of brews, but then I'm also trying to knock on the head the amount of fizzy drinks that I have to. I'm trying to cut it down until my evening meal. So until dinner, I'm not having anything fizzy. And then I'm going to be trying to do as close to, because it's not always possible with being a busy mum, but as close to 10,000 steps as possible. Obviously, when I'm at work, I smash that target, no problem, and beyond. That it's not even an issue when I'm at work. But when I'm at home, sometimes if we're just having a day in the house and I'm doing stuff with the littlies, it is harder to get those steps in. So I'm just gonna, if the weather's okay, I'm just gonna get out and go for a walk around the park with the littlies again because it's good for them, and just get out as much as possible. So yeah, that is my plans, and I hope it all makes sense. And I hope you all understand the reasoning why it's taken me so long to come on here and, um, basically just let you all know and keep you updated, because it's just my head has just been completely mashed with it all. Completely. I didn't know what to do for right for doing wrong and vice versa. And I was just so confused. But now that I am definitely back at Slimming World and I've thought of how I'm going to tackle the plan properly with some really clear goals and clear aims, I feel more comfortable now because I know I'm not just going to be wading through going over my calories every day or anything like that. Obviously, I don't know how many calories I am eating, but I'm going to be able to judge it on whenever I step on the scales, and how my clothes are feeling and how my weight loss is going. And I know that if I start maintaining or if I get any gains or anything like that, then I just need to look at my diet of how that previous week has gone and just tweak it slightly and hopefully carry on the weight loss. But I see it that I've done Slimming World in the past and I lost 4 stone. And if I could lose 4 stone again, I'd be really close to target. So, I can do it, and I've done it before in the past. And again, I stopped doing it. I stopped doing it any form, and I was just an absolute pig. I will completely admit I was just an absolute pig and ate for the sake of eating, and obviously put all the weight back on plus some. And then I've had kids as extra kids in between, haven't I? So yeah, not that I'm using that as an excuse, but it is the case. But no more, because no more babies. So no more. And I need to do it. I have to do it. And again, I know if you've followed me for a while, you'll have heard me say this, but I have to do it. And this is the year. No more messing about. I'm back at work now. I feel like that routine has come back in. I'm not on maternity leave in this little bubble, which I would have loved to have lost all the weight while I was on maternity leave and go back to work a new person. But that wasn't the reality. I was too absorbed in being on maternity leave. But now, life, it was almost like life was on pause because I was on maternity leave and normality hadn't resumed, but it has now. There's no more excuses. We are back into normal life. I mean, Alana would be going to school next year, for example. So it's even more normal now. And part of that normalcy means that I need to crack back on and lose this weight. So, yeah, the nitty gritty now, which, I'm always an open book. I'm happy to share my weights because I am what I am. I can't change it. Me not sharing it doesn't change that number on the scale whatsoever. And I am using my channel as a bit of a weight loss diary for myself so that I can look back on it and see, you know, the journey that I've gone on. If I'm ever struggling, I can look back and see how I've got on. So what I'll do today is I'll share, because again, it's a bit impromptu. I wasn't, until I woke up this morning, I wasn't planning on actually filming. I was hoping that I'd get some point today to do it, but I wasn't planning on doing it so soon. But my weigh-in, my first week's weigh-in, so next Monday onwards, I'll share with you some more details, you know, like pictures and measurements and stuff like that. But for today, I'll just let you know the weights and stuff, so you know the gargantuan size that I am standing at or sitting currently. But yeah, so I joined back on Monday the 16th, and I'm 5'5", so I'm not the tallest. I mean, I'm not minute, but I'm not the tallest either. And my starting weight is more than my starting weight was last year. So last January, I started, I think it was 16 stone 3. And I weigh more this time than I did last January, which is rubbish because, well, it's rubbish because I'd not long had a baby last January. I'd had a baby in November of that year. Well, the previous year, but you know what I mean, like just a few months before. So my starting weight this time is 16 stone 6. So yeah, not loads more, but still that extra £3 makes a difference when it comes to your clothes. So I'm not the heaviest that I've ever been. I think after Alana and that, was it after Alana? Yeah, I think I at one point in my life, I think I got up to 17 stone, or just over, like 17.1. I think I got to. And to look at me, genuinely, to look at me, yes, I do look overweight, but I don't think I look 16 stone 6. When anybody finds out my weight, because again, I do tell people, you know, I am what I am, they're like, there's no chance you're that weight. And I'm like, I really am. If you've got some scales, I'll stand on them. I really am that weight. So I don't think I actually do look it, but I do. Obviously, I look overweight. You can't be that size and not look overweight. But I don't think I quite look that. So I've set my target. Normally, I set my target at 11 stone because it's more about how I look than what the scales say. I've always said that. But for some reason, when she said, what's your target this time? I said, 10.5 stone. 10.5 stone. I think I was born 10.5 stone. So why on earth I said 10.5 stone? I honestly can't imagine me at being 10.5 stone. That number is just so alien. Yet when I look on the BMI scale, I can actually go down. I think 10.5 stone is my absolute top end of the healthy BMI range. That if I go to like 10 stone 8, I think then I'm classed as overweight. And I can actually go down to 8 stone 8 or 8 stone 4, something like that, something ridiculous like that. 8 stone 4 or even 8, me, no, just no, never gonna happen in a million years. I will look so odd, it is untrue. I will literally look like an orange on a toothpick, just a big bobblehead on a stick. That is what I will actually look like, guaranteed. So never, even though technically I can get down to that weight, I'm never gonna venture that low. So I know I've said 10.5 stone, but I'm just gonna keep it as a vague ballpark, because I think even at 11 stone, I'm going to look extremely slim. Extremely slim. I mean, when me and Kev got married back in 2014, we've been together since 2004, so we have been together for a very long time, but we got married finally in 2014 on our 10th anniversary together. I was... How much did I weigh? How much did I weigh? I think I was about 13 stone. Yeah, because I'd lost the 4 stone. So I was around about 13 stone. And I'll pop a picture in here of us on our wedding day. And I look perfect. absolutely perfect. I loved the size that I was. I was a comfortable 14. My dress was a 14, and we all know wedding dresses, even though they say 14, they're actually probably smaller. They're like ridiculous. I'm sure the torture devices, really. So, yeah, perfect. So, I'm going to take everything with a pinch of salt. So, even 11 stone might be too light for me. I might bob around about 12 because, I'm not a young whippersnapper anymore either. And I think sometimes the older you are, the too much weight you lose, it can make you look a bit haggard. And I don't want to look haggard, not any more than I already do. I don't need to add to that. So, yeah, even 11 stone might not be my target. I might end up setting it at 12. So, why on earth I said 10 and a half? I have no idea, but it's just a number. Like I said, it's how I feel, not what I look like, and that's what I'm going with. So yeah, this is just basically my not quick update. It was meant to be a quick update, a quick 10 minutes, jump on, hi, how are you? I'm this, I'm stupid, I've done this, let's crack on. But yeah, it's never that way, is it? But I am going to love you and leave you now. I'm going to leave it there because otherwise I'll just talk rubbish for the next God knows how long. What I am planning on doing is I'm planning on doing a bit of a family life update because I know some people on my channel are here. Originally we're here through weight loss, but then, you like keeping in touch with people that you follow on YouTube. I mean, I know I do on YouTube as well. I follow loads of people that I like just to know about, generally about them. So I'm going to do a bit of a life update as well, just let you know how the kids are getting on, what's new with us, anything that's going on and what we've got planned for this year and stuff. And I'll keep that one separate to my weight loss because, again, I know some people are just here specifically for weight loss only. So I'll pop that out soon. And I do plan on doing some what I eat in a days. I can't commit to every single day. I wish I could do daily vlogging because I do really enjoy it, but I can't commit to every day. So as and when I can, I'll throw those what I eat in a days out. But I will commit to updating you once a week on the weight loss journey of how it's getting on. And like I said, pictures and measurements, I'll share them in my first week's weigh-in, which will be next Monday. The vlog will probably be out on Tuesday, just for, like getting it filmed and edited and stuff. But yeah, I will definitely keep you updated. And I promise I am not going to neglect this channel anymore because, like I say, one of my aims is to grow it as much as possible. So thank you for staying subscribed, first of all, and sticking with me, even though I've been absolutely rubbish. But I do promise that the rubbishness, that's not even a word, will end today. It will end today and we're going forward and everything is going to be amazing. She says, hopefully. And I can't believe what time is it? It's nearly 9 o'clock and the littlies are still asleep. It's amazing. They probably won't get out of bed until 10:30. They are so lazy, it is untrue. But then again, we all are. We all are in this family. I breed lazy people in my husband. And not that I've not bred him, I've married him, but yeah, even he loves a good sleeping as well. So anyway, see what I mean? I just talk for the sake of talking. So I'm going to love you and leave you. Thank you so much for watching, and thank you if you have made it to the end of this and I've not bored you completely to death. Then again, thank you so much for sticking around, and I will catch you in the next one. So take care of yourselves and I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye.